वापसी गया वापसी गया वापसी गया
ना वापस ना जाएगा, अटैक करेगा एक बार।
आ गया।
चलो 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 चलो।
Yeah, that is not what you want to say. A man fishing in Japan has the fright of his life when this bear runs up on him while he's fishing. Yeah, if I'm going to run into a bear in the wild, my weapon of choice is not going to be a fishing rod. This guy did a good job of deterring him, though.
What is that? Looks like eye shine. Whoa, 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 whoa. Should I whistle? Fuck. Whistling was a bad idea.
The beam hit something, two glowing eyes staring back from the tree line. At first he thought it was a deer, but the eyes were too far apart and way too high off the ground. The moment he whistled, the shape behind those eyes shifted, huge, upright, with the faint outline of shoulders and a head. Some viewers say it's a bear reacting to the light. Others point out the movement. It stands up, it doesn't crouch down. You see glowing eyes at night, high off the ground, watching you in silence. Are you standing your ground? Or are you running for your life? Ouija Blazer recently shared a photo to the paranormal subreddit with this interesting accompanying paragraph. I recently took a trip up to Mount Shasta, soaking in the surreal landscapes and crisp air. As I wandered through the trails, I struck up a conversation with the local tour guide, one of those guys who clearly knows everything about the mountain. Chatting turned into storytelling, and I jokingly asked him, "So, any Bigfoot sightings around here?" To my surprise, he kinda grinned and said, "Actually, yes." He recounted an experience from 5 years ago. He had been taking a friend's photo after a long hike near the summit. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until they looked at the photo later. In the background, barely noticeable at first, was a strange figure, lurking just within the tree line. He showed me the photo but wouldn't send it to me, so I just took a photo of the photo. I zoomed it in with only the creature visible in the shot. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "I believe in Bigfoot," which was kinda random, but I believed him. He wasn't trying to sell a story, he was calm. He told me he snowboards a lot in the Mount Shasta backcountry, and more than once he's had the eerie sensation of being watched. Or in his peripheral vision, a pair of eyes peeking through the darkness, but every time he turned to look, they vanished. You ever see something so out of place it just freezes you? Well, that's what happened to a couple hiking on Bald Mountain. They were taking photos near a steep riverbed when the woman spotted movement across the slope. At first she thought it was another hiker, but then she realized there were no trails there. The figure was pitch black, tall, walking on two legs, and carrying nothing. No backpack, no gear. They stood there for what seemed like forever, but it was probably only 10 minutes, and watched it cross the jagged terrain. And it was walking with this unnatural ease, never stumbling, never breaking pace, before it finally vanished into the trees. They were excited to check their camera later, and when they zoomed in, the footage was blurry, but in their opinion, clear enough to confirm one thing. Whatever that was, it wasn't human. The couple went so far as to even share their GPS coordinates and the exact spot the creature moved through. Locals and a tour guide confirmed that there's no path there, there's no easy way across that slope. And that leaves everyone wondering, so how did it move like that? And what the heck was it doing there? But what are we doing, folks? If you were out there and you saw something like that moving through the wilderness, what are you doing? Are you filming? Are you getting out of there? I'd love to know. In 2009, a shaky little clip from the Tatra Mountains went viral. And still, people can't agree what's in it.
Ja, dat je paalam trochę.
The video was filmed along the Poland-Slovakia border. The person behind the camera seemed nervous, maybe even scared. And yeah, I would agree with that because the way the camera jerks and shakes while he's filming. Some claim the shaking was fake. Someone trying too hard to sell a hoax. That could be. But then again, cameras back then didn't have stabilization, and this kind of motion could have been just pure adrenaline, fear. Especially if they really saw something they couldn't explain. No one's ever stepped forward as the filmer. The spot is obviously remote, no tours, no trails. So if it wasn't a person and there aren't wild apes in that part of Europe, then what was it? Maybe a European cousin of Bigfoot? The kind locals whisper about in old mountain folklore? Now, what are we thinking? Would you call this a hoax, or could it be proof that something else walks those mountains? A self-described Bigfoot reacher once said he would capture something that would blow your mind, but even he wasn't sure what he saw. The researcher was deep in the woods filming one of his field studies when something darted between the trees.
Where'd it go? This part of it. Where'd it go?
A dark, human-like shape weaving through the brush. When interviewed by the news, he later admitted that it didn't look big enough to be a full-grown Sasquatch, so he thought maybe something younger. Someone brought up the idea of it being a prank, but he said that no one should have even known he was there, and that would have been a heck of a coincidence. Regardless, you can tell that that moment shook him. And that's the tough part. If you had spent years searching for Bigfoot and finally caught a glimpse, would you trust your eyes, or would you question everything? This next one might be the most famous night vision clip ever captured in North Carolina. They call it the squeaky footage. In 2009, a Bigfoot hunter named Michael Green set up a thermal camera in a patch of woods known for sightings. To lure something in, he smeared peanut butter on a stump and left a few squeaky toys nearby. Then he left and waited. That night, the camera caught something. A massive heat signature moving low and slow. It swayed side to side, peering around the stump before vanishing back into the trees. I won't play it all, but the clip is about 3 minutes long. And I don't know about you, but whatever this thing is on this video, it feels like it knows that it's being watched. You can almost see the apprehension in its steps. Experts studied the footage frame by frame. The body shape matched a human, just larger, thicker, taller. The crazy part is the next morning, the peanut butter and toys were gone, dragged deeper into the forest. Locals around the area that have seen the video now call that figure Squeaky, and to this day it's one of the most debated clips ever captured. And if that was a person, why are you going to go up to a baited camera in the middle of nowhere? You know that there's I feel like that would attract bears. I'm getting the heck away from that. On the flip side, some of the haters are saying that Bigfoot is way too intelligent to walk into a trap like that. I don't know. A bunch of peanut butter in the middle of the woods probably smells pretty good to a Bigfoot. A driver deep in California's Sierra Nevada mountains captured something that still gives people chills. He was cruising down a quiet mountain road when movement caught his eye. Something big, moving between the trees. He grabbed his phone and hit record just as a tall, broad figure stepped into view, covered in dark brown fur and walking upright. The thing only appeared for a few seconds before slipping back into the forest. But what made the footage unsettling wasn't just the sighting. It was the audio. In the background, you can hear deep, echoing calls that seem to bounce all through the forest. Some viewers swear they sound like howls. Others think it's actually speech. This part of the Sierra Nevada has a long list of strange sightings and missing hikers. When the driver shared the clip online, locals pointed out that no bears in that area move like that, or stand that tall. Skeptics wrote it off as just someone in a suit. Of course, they didn't know who, but someone. Anyhow, what say you guys? I'd love to know where you land on this one. In a remote Tibetan village near the Chinese border, locals say they stumbled upon a body unlike anything they'd ever seen. It looked human, but not quite. Tangled hair, grayish skin, massive hands and feet. Its torso was shaped like a gorilla's, but its face looked eerily human. Someone filmed the scene before authorities stepped in. In minutes, the clip went viral online, with some claiming it was the legendary Yeti finally found. But others said it looked staged, pointing out how the body barely moved and how cleanly the camera framed it, as if it were a prop. Even now, no one knows where the footage came from. Believers say it was filmed after an avalanche revealed the creature's resting place. Others think it was just made up to stir up the locals. The proportions, though, do seem kind of hard to fake. So, is this real or just another viral setup designed to keep the myth alive? Two hikers trekking the Himalayas filmed what they believed is a living legend. The pair were crossing a rocky ridge when one of them noticed movement in the distance. A large dark figure walking upright across a snow-covered slope. They zoomed in, expecting to see another climber, but the trail ended far below. What they caught on film moved slowly but powerfully, striding across the terrain like it's nothing. The figure's size and posture are unmistakably human, but the location makes that almost impossible. The area was miles from any base camp or climbing route. The region is known by locals as Yeti territory. For generations, stories of an ape-like guardian of the mountains have been told, protecting the peaks from outsiders. The hikers say there was no sound, no wind, no echo, just that heavy figure fading into the white snow. A family hiking the Georgia coast snapped one photo they can't explain. They were moving through a patch of marshland when someone in the group saw a dark figure between the trees. It stood tall, bulky and motionless, like it was watching them. One of them lifted a phone and took a shot before it vanished. When they looked at the photo later, the figure seemed almost human, but not quite. Tall, broad, and the arms were longer than they should have been. Online, people argued. Was it Bigfoot? Is it really just a tree? And you can't tell because of how far away it is. The family insists that the air that day was heavy and still. They were under a canopy, no shadows moving, no branches swaying. Whatever they saw was solid, real, and gone in an instant. And on top of that, they didn't see anyone else on the trail that day. It was only their family. A hiker in Northern California started the year with a photo that's still stirring debate. It was New Year's Day 2020. The man stopped on a ridge to take a scenic shot of the valley. Days later, when he zoomed in on the image, he noticed a figure standing between two trees in the distance. It looked massive, broad shoulders, long limbs, and a conical head. Comparing it to the trees nearby, it stood between 7 and 8 feet tall. He hadn't seen or heard anything unusual at the time, which makes it even creepier. It was kinda just there. It showed up out of thin air. Skeptics say it's a black bear on its hind legs, distorted by distance. But the proportions don't fit. Too narrow at the waist, too even in its stance. That small detail, the balance, has made researchers wonder if this might be one of the clearest daylight images of a Sasquatch ever taken. If you found something like that in one of your photos, are you sharing it? Posted to Reddit, one of Pennsylvania's strangest Bigfoot cases comes from researcher Stan Gordon. Stan investigated a fisherman's terrifying late-night encounter. The man was casting his line in near darkness when he heard heavy movement behind him. Turning with his flashlight, he froze. Standing at the edge of the water was a figure unlike anything he'd ever seen. A ragged, sickly-looking Bigfoot. Its skin was pale and wrinkled, with large patches completely bare of hair. What fur remained was thin and uneven, running up its head in a rough mohawk-like strip. The creature's face was what really stuck with him. Sunken eyes, missing teeth, and skin that looked almost human but aged beyond belief. Before he could move, it stepped forward and grabbed his arm. The grip was strong but brief, almost like it was testing him. Then it released and walked back into the trees without a sound. The witness later described the encounter to Stan Gordon, who dubbed it the mangy old Bigfoot. Artist Mike Suey's 1988 sketch captures the eerie detail, a creature that looks ancient, diseased, yet unmistakably powerful. Some think it was an old dying Bigfoot pushed out of its clan. Others say it was a person with a rare skin disorder. I mean, heck, either way, it's one of the most disturbing encounters ever reported in Pennsylvania's Bigfoot history. I mean, try to picture this. If you were alone by that river, and something walked up on you like this, grabbed you, I mean, I might pass out right there. In the forests of Northern California, Corrine Rupp claimed something had been stalking her property. Loud knocks at night, heavy footsteps, strange howls. Then one afternoon, she finally saw it. Through the trees stood a dark figure, half hidden in the brush. She raised her camera and snapped a single photo. At first, it looks like nothing but leaves. But she says if you look closer, you can make out a face. Deep-set eyes, a broad nose, and coarse hair blending into the forest. Skeptics call it an illusion. Believers say it's one of the clearest glimpses ever captured. That's just not true. I don't see a thing. Maybe this guy from Reddit put it best. Or this guy. I don't know how you could submit a photo that looks like this. Does anyone on the planet see anything? Have you guys seen this clip? I'm a sucker for a potential sighting on a channel that doesn't usually post paranormal or cryptid stuff, so.
Bless you.
The skinwalker?
What do you think?
That was not a normal noise. Look at this angry little coot. I'm just saying.
You got me thinking.
Well, that ain't no sneeze. Caden?
Wanna leave?
We'll be alright. It's daytime. They don't come out during the daytime. What in the Kentucky backwoods?
You said what in the...
I did just get chilled down my leg. Maybe I have to pee. Oh my gosh!
What is that?
I don't know. I've never heard that noise in my life. Bless you! That's scary. I'm hoping that you can hear this.
Hear what?
There's something screaming in the woods.
Oh my god.
Did you see that?
Like actually, like we stopped fishing and are trying to like look at this thing.
I saw something move over there, but...
Don't get close to it.
We're not. Look up. We're far away from the shore.
How is it all the way over there now?
Dude, what is that? That's got... It's cooking. It just moved like 200 yards.
I love how the one guy gets up from his seat. You can tell he's a little scared.
screaming over and over
It
and
was
over.
over there, and now it's way over there.
Is it a bird? Like a lady fake sneezing. Like just
Get
screaming.
away from it.
The guy's girlfriend is like, don't go near it. That's a girlfriend that knows her boyfriend, like, okay, you're gonna go investigate.
Go away.
I'm not going towards that. Listen, I understand I'm a white person, but I ain't doing that. No, thank you.
Anyhow, sounds pretty creepy. What do you guys think? Could this legit be cryptid related, or is this just some animal? What are we doing here, folks? I mean, I've mentioned this before, but I don't live in an area that has mountain lions, and I don't know how to say it. They're too stealthy and ambush predators. Like, I just can't imagine having a yard and next thing you know, you have to worry about your kid being plucked out of it by a mountain lion. I don't know. Chime in if you live around mountain lions. I'd love to know more. Are there any precautions you have to take? These lions, they look healthy. I mean, yeah, they're pretty, but they're not there for a beauty pageant. It's kind of like living near alligators. Like, I was visiting down south and I saw had these two Adirondack chairs that were right next to this pond. Well, I mean, that's all good and well. However, in the same pond, I saw a gigantic alligator. So it's like, who's sitting there? God forbid you have a cocktail and you doze off, and next thing you know, you're yanked into the water and become a meal. I know, a bit of a tangent there, but I'd love to know more if you live near these predators that really want to eat you and just drag you away.
What kind of skull is that?
That's gotta be deer.
Deer have teeth like that?
There's almost human.
There's a dog man
You can Google it.
Dang, or dog man
Deer
skull.
have teeth, but I'm not sure how they really.
They're
kinda,
flat.
It kind of looks like a deer.
That's a
head.
plant eater.
It's a deer head. I'm pretty sure. But why is it out here in the middle of?
Yes,
Just
it's
nothing.
probably a deer. And they do their molars are set back in their jaws to chew cud.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Put it back where we found it. Don't be no bad.
Still cool, pretty fine.
I mean, what a guy. Look. No, honestly, actually, the monkey is probably a female, and it thinks that the dog is her baby. That's really the mother's protection is the only answer for this. Like, what is it doing? It just clubbed this man-eating dinosaur to let her friend go. Is this real? It looks real. What a world. Okay, so the OP writes, so my fiance and I were on the back of my mother's property on August 14th. We heard rustling in the woods and heard a limb crack, so we checked it out and I took a picture of this figure. We walked away calmly because I saw it move and I thought it was going to follow us. The next day I went back up there with my pump action shotgun and the figure wasn't there anymore. I've had previous encounters on my mother's property that I've already posted on this subreddit before. Anyhow, I'm going back up there next weekend to take a photo of the area since the last time I was up there I forgot to bring my phone. So this guy and his fiance are pretty adamant that this is a creature. I don't see a follow-up, and I have a sneaky suspicion. I didn't look that hard for a follow-up, but I have a sneaky suspicion that I wouldn't be able to find one because I feel like this is just pareidolia. This is just the way our eyes are perceiving this. But then again, I don't want to discredit what he said he saw because he said the thing was moving and was worried that it was following him. What say you guys? He thought it was just another quiet night in the woods, but when a stranger emerged from the dark asking for food, that piece he had was gone for good. Grizzly Gaz had camped hundreds of times before. That April night, not too long ago, he pitched his tent, cooked up a steak dinner, and settled in for a calm evening. Then came the voice. The guy asked for a light and something to eat. Gaz was obviously startled, but he handed over some food and just tried to keep things light and polite.
Right, we've got steaks on go now. Bit of ribeye. Pot boiling for some mash. And I've got a visitor. Creeped up behind me asking me if I had a light. I shit me pants. This is Martin anyway. I don't know him, but he's stopping for a steak, so...
Just some random creep wandering about.
You went round here in a poncho a couple of months ago, were you?
I don't think I was. I could have been.
The man said his name was Martin. His words were slurred, his thoughts jumped all around. He spoke about addiction, about wandering these woods alone for weeks. Gaz got the sense that this guy wasn't entirely there anymore. As they sat by the fire, Martin rambled, then got quiet. When Gaz got up to chop wood and look back, the man was gone.
Turned round to cut some firewood up. So I cut a couple of logs up. And when I turned back round, he'd gone. And I just found that really strange.
No goodbye, no thank you, no footsteps he heard, nothing. Just the crackling of the fire. The next morning, Gaz went back to check his trail camera, the one he'd mounted near the camp in case the stranger returned.
I'm on my way back to the camp to collect my trail camera and see if that random smackhead came back during the night.
But the camera itself was gone.
Trail camera's gone. That's where it was, on this tree. So my gut instincts were right, weren't they, to leave.
Gaz later admitted he'd never felt eyes on him the way he did that night. Maybe Martin was just a lost soul, or maybe someone else was lurking near the camp watching both of them. But I want to know, if you were alone out there and a stranger like that appeared out of nowhere, what are you doing? You sticking it out, or are you packing up and getting the heck out of there? Check this out. Posted on Reddit, a guy says, I live in the UK and I received a package this evening that wasn't ordered. Yeah, you think? I came back home, saw the package lying there where I unboxed it. It was wrapped in newspaper and some other papers. It had my address handwritten on it, without the name, and inside something that looks like a sheep's head. It smells really bad. I'm not sure if it's a prank, art, or something more serious. Has anyone seen anything like this before? Any advice on what it could be or how to handle it safely would be appreciated. Hi, I got a sheep's head in the mail. This isn't that weird. What are you talking about, dude? And let me find some of the comments. Inform the police as well. The head could be from a slaughterhouse, veterinarian school anatomy lab, or an animal abuse case. Regardless of origin, it is disgusting and a definite biohazard. My first thought was rabies test specimen. Someone says not in the UK. Apparently they don't have rabies there. It's cool. It reminds me of that scene in The Godfather where they put the racehorse's head in that and used it in the movie. Anyhow, I just think this guy's entirely too calm about this. I mean, good for him. Maybe I need a little more of that in my life. But I think the UK has some like weird social media stuff too, so maybe he's just trying to tread lightly, not to ruffle any feathers. Well, cheerio.
No, it's not. Look behind you. Let's just stay here.
It wasn't the wildlife that came for them that night. It was people. Restless Wanderer Backpacking had spent years exploring remote areas with his family. That Memorial Day weekend in 2020, they'd picked a peaceful spot deep in the Colorado mountains. A large tent, campfire glowing, kids already asleep. The kind of night you remember for how calm it feels. Then at 4 a.m., an engine shattered the silence. A four-wheeler tore down the dirt road, headlights cutting through the trees. It stopped right before their camp. Two voices, a man and a woman, both drunk, angry, shouting for jumper cables.
No.
They're 2 miles away.
I know.
When the father told him he didn't have any, things got sideways really quickly. The man advanced, yelling threats. The woman screamed in the mother's face. Inside the tent, the children didn't move or even make a sound. Every breath felt like it might give them away. After a tense minute that felt like an eternity, the strangers stumbled back into the dark, still cursing as they went.
No, it's not. Look behind you. Let's just stay here.
He later said he realized something that night. Out here, it's not bears or coyotes that scare him. It's people. You never really know who's desperate, who's been drinking, or what they're capable of when they're angry in the middle of nowhere. You can carry all the survival gear in the world, but what do you do when the real danger walks up on 2 legs? And that reminds me of something. The very last clip of this video, I'm going to share something that I just saw on TV. It just hit the news and it's heartbreaking. There's not a ton of information about it, but what I've heard is crazy and scary. This clip captured in Brazil really tugged at my heartstrings. The Brazilian resource team found this jaguar floating on one of their patrols. Actually, before I get flamed in the comments, jaguar. It'll always be jaguar to me, but I understand I guess that's not how you say it. Nevertheless, this poor guy was picked up, and you can just tell by the look on his face like he's tired. I think the thing about this, that he kind of looks like, okay, like, I know that we've both wreaked havoc in each other's community at times, but I need some help. And like, I give up. I'm at the mercy of these people. I mean, the guy's petting it. And you can tell the guys feel it too, because these cats are dangerous. It's the way God made them. I mean, it's no one's fault. It's just that in this moment, you can see that there's an understanding. They eventually tow him back into shore and get him some help. Anyhow, this is just a great story. And jaguar. How great is this? A guy noticed that this bear was coming out of the woods to play on this swing set. Well, he could never fit onto the small swing, so the guy did what any normal father would do. He built a big enough swing for the bear to swing with his children. No, I'm kidding about that, but he did build a big enough swing for the bear to swing on it. And I can't lie, it's pretty adorable. Look at the bear's face. I mean, he's having the time of his life. Anyhow, I hope the kids don't play on the swing set, or it's an old swing set, because this bear, I think he's addicted. He'll definitely be back. He heard his own name being called from deep in the woods. The only problem, the only person he was with, was standing right beside him. Jasko had explored dozens of haunted places, prisons, asylums, forgotten forests, but the one he called the Devil's Forest always left him uneasy. Locals said people had gone missing there for years. So naturally, in September 2025, he and his friend Chris, they decided to camp in the middle of it. As they hiked a narrow trail, Jasko froze.
I just heard my name being called from down the trail.
From the trees ahead, he heard a voice. His own name being called. And it was in Chris's tone. Except Chris was behind him, a quarter mile in the opposite direction.
But Chris is in that direction. Chris? But if he's down there, then... What the f? Yo! Who's down there? Hello?
That night gave no relief. Things got worse. The sound of breaking glass echoed outside the van, then a gunshot.
Chris?
Yo.
Chris, did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
Somebody just break a fucking window? What was that? What was that?
That was so loud.
Just
No. Chris! That was a gunshot.
That was absolutely.
That was a gunshot. Did you see anything?
There's a light. There's a fucking light right there.
Whoa!
What's that?
Oh shit!
What is that? There's someone out
Chris,
there?
what the fuck? Yo,
What is that?
yo, there's someone out there. There's someone out there.
There's actually someone out
Yo,
there.
what the fuck? What the fuck?
Hold on.
Hold on.
What the f?
Bro, is that someone out there? Bro, that's a light. That's a fucking light. It's moving. Chris, it's moving. There's someone outside the van right now.
Why? What are they doing? There actually has been somebody here the whole time.
What the fuck?
A moving light appeared among the trees. And I know what you're thinking, but it wasn't a flashlight beam sweeping randomly.
Bro, if they have a gun, and we're fucking hearing shit.
It was deliberate, tracking them. Then came the crunching of footsteps, circling. Fearing for their lives, Jasko and Chris punched it. Not stopping until they felt safe. He'd been to that same forest before, once finding footprints pressed into a frozen lake that began and ended nowhere.
Scottish. Someone's coming.
Oh! Ben! No, what the fuck was that? Yo.
What?
Look on that log right there.
Holy.
Ben? Those are feet prints. Look at that. Something there?
I don't know.
But Chris, what would make that glass noise?
I don't know. That's what I'm wondering. It doesn't make sense. That makes no sense.
Is someone out here like messing with us?
It may not be paranormal at all, but it is not interested in people being there. My gut tells me he's right about that. This could have been a situation where a mimic was trying to lure him in using his friend Chris's voice. What say you guys? Have you ever encountered a mimic in the woods? I'm sure by now most of you have seen these things. The Sora update, I mean, they are so realistic. You see like a lady hanging out with a bear on her front porch. You see a cat riding a warthog. I mean, there's just all types of things. But look at this one. Like, this one feels real. I think we can probably all relate to this a little bit. Shh.
Stop it.
Posted on the subreddit True Cryptozoology, this creature that was captured on camera is found in the depths of over 5,000 feet. We truly have no idea what is down there. A guy in the comments actually said, though, that this is some type of jellyfish. And I gotta take his word for it. Anytime I'm able to get a glimpse into something that I would likely never see, I love it. I think this is crazy. I mean, what about when this thing dies? Like, is it gonna wash up on shore? Will it just get eaten before it even gets to shore? Is it just held down in the depths? That's an interesting thought. I wonder how many things that are at this depth ever even make it to the top without being eaten in part of the food chain. Here's the clip I was talking about that I would leave at the end of this video. It's so sad. I'll give you the gist. You can watch this. I don't know if they'll make me take it down, but the gist is basically that this guy told his wife and kids to leave, and he was gonna stay an extra day and fly his drone around this like valley or whatever. And the next day he allegedly murdered these 2 high school kids. It's just insane. Look at him.
Sitting in a jail cell, the man prosecutors say brutally murdered 2 teenagers on a camping trip. The 2 teens were found shot to death near a remote hiking trail in Arizona after a Memorial Day outing. I spoke with the heartbroken mom of 17-year-old Evan Clark.
So you think it was just some random act of
horror? Horror. Absolute horror. Teenage children.
The other victim was Evan's high school friend, 18-year-old Pandora Jolesrud. Chilling video shows the accused killer, 31-year-old Thomas Brown, being taken to Arizona's Maricopa County Jail. He's made to stand barefoot in a scanning machine that takes all his body's measurements in seconds. Brown's eerie, emotionless demeanor and ice-cold gaze as he's booked for first-degree murder.
And they say in this clip that he's being compared to Brian Koberger, the guy that killed all those students, the college students up in Idaho.
Camping near Arizona's Mount Ord with his wife and stayed behind an extra day. When she went home, he told cops he spent his day flying his drone around the mountain. After the bodies of the teenagers were found, investigators say Brown called the police helpline to say he'd seen the campers and stumbled across their campsite but had not spoken to them. But detectives say his DNA was found at the crime scene. Pandora and Evan were about to start their senior year at high school in Scottsdale. Evan's mom posted heartbreaking video of her journey to the spot where the bodies were found.
It's where I lost my boy. They died alone in this forest.
She says she had a bad feeling about the trip and pleaded with him to change his plans.
I asked him not to go that morning. I even offered for him money for him so he could use the weekend and go to California.
This is one of the last photos of Pandora. It was taken with her mom on Mother's Day, just 2 weeks before the murders.
The light and love and beauty she gave us will be in our hearts forever. And the darkness that she encountered on that day, when she met her killer, will not define her life.
Anyhow, this is kind of what I was tying into, that it's not always the animals, the wildlife, the conditions. It can be crazy people. So sometimes I think it would be better for this to be a Bigfoot than it would to be this dude flying his drone, stalking you. Anyhow, love you guys. Be safe.
Oh man!
Brand new video out of Idaho here. Filmed in October of this year, a hunter went out to check one of his blinds. It was late in the evening, sun going down. When off to his left, he noticed movement in the trees. 2 figures, one large, one much smaller, both upright. He was shocked. He watched in silence for a moment, trying to make sense of what he was even seeing. Luckily, he pulled out his phone and hit record. A short but surprisingly clear clip, close enough to make out details, and clear enough to raise eyebrows. The caption of the video he uploaded? Bigfoot and baby seen in Idaho. The pair moved slowly through a clearing, walking in that upright, almost human way. And here's what I first noticed. These figures, they don't really look like people in suits. The fur doesn't hang loose, it seems attached but like built in and not like it's a costume. For the most part, their motions feel natural. Encounters like this in this area of Idaho aren't unheard of, apparently. Over the years, people who have wandered far enough off trail report seeing what they believe to be family groups. An adult and a juvenile, 2 adults, adult and a couple kids. The adult is usually huge, between 7 to 10 feet tall, bulky and powerful. The younger ones are described as a bit clumsy, maybe 3 to 5 feet tall, mimicking the way the adult moves, but also trying to keep up. Some witnesses have said that the little ones, they'll crouch and even freeze behind logs or any other hiding spot they can find if they know they've been seen. So what do you guys think? Could this be the real deal? Mother Bigfoot with her young? Or is this just another too good to be true moment in a world flooded with AI-generated fakes? I love this clip. It's just getting harder to trust anything. A routine traffic stop turns surreal when a driver disappears from her car, in full view of the officer's body cam. An officer pulls over a woman named Sarah for an expired registration. Dash cam and body cam show her calm, cooperative, waiting while the officer steps back to check her info. When the officer turns around just seconds later, Sarah's gone. Her seatbelt still latched, driver's door closed, car in park, no sign of her anywhere.
Not mine. Any drugs or alcohol in the vehicle? No, of course not. All right. Sit tight, Sarah. I'll be right back. Okay. Your registration is What the?
Sarah?
What the heck? Sarah? 3201. To dispatch.
2 camera angles confirm it. One from the body cam, one from the cruiser dash. What the heck is going on here? Like, I mean, some people are calling it staged. Yeah, I get that. But this looks pretty real. Is this a glitch in reality or I don't even know. This clip went viral, but the department never even commented on it. Never said a word. Which, I mean, you know, that's gonna fuel speculation. I don't know. These people disappearing, I don't get that at all. I need help with that. If anyone knows anything about that, help me out there. A perfect concert night turned into a drive they still can't explain. May 17th, 2025. Sabby and her boyfriend leave the Blue Lagoon in Santa Cruz, heading home on Highway 17. Locals call it Killer 17 for a reason. Dashcam rolling, road empty, downhill curves. A figure appears in their lane. Close enough to brush the passenger side door. The front camera catches it clear as day. As they zoom past, their hearts are pounding. They check the rear camera. No one's there. An empty road. Plenty of people have reported someone standing on 17 at night. Skeptics blame fog, bad lighting, pareidolia. Others think it's what's left behind after so many fatal wrecks on this road. Here's the part that sticks with me. If she'd swerved hard, we could be having a different conversation right now. Reddit user Amalog posted this on the paranormal subreddit, and it's pretty wild. This picture. So this happened back when I was in army training. Someone snapped a photo in our room, and in the far corner, where it was physically impossible for anyone to stand, something was there. A figure. And before you say it, no, it wasn't a mop, or laundry, or some random guy sneaking in. Our barracks were strictly female only. No guys, no visitors, no exceptions. We weren't allowed any cleaning gear, no civilian clothes, and every soldier's hair had to be regulation short. Nobody in that building had long or gray hair like that thing did. When we showed the photo around, hundreds of soldiers saw it, and everyone got the same chill. Again, the cadre refused to even acknowledge it, wouldn't even look at it for more than a second. It really was like they already knew and didn't want to talk about it. I've never really believed in hauntings, and I still don't, honestly, but between that photo and the sound of a disconnected payphone screaming in the middle of the night, I don't have any other explanation. So I'm just going to try to let this play and hope that YouTube doesn't take it down. I don't even really know what to say about it, but anyway, so this is from Kin Panama on TikTok and hi.selly on Instagram. And just take a look at this and please let me know what you think.
September, a meteor crashed in Panama. This TikToker, Kin Panama, documented this. First off, I want to say thanks to Kin for giving us the opportunity to see this firsthand. and documenting it so clearly. You know, this man has a well-standing profile. He posts about normal things for years, and all of a sudden starts posting this footage. I don't have any reason to believe it's AI. What started to grow off of this meteor had life reactions to it, or has life reactions to it. It moves. It's not feeding off anything. It's not getting air. He's kept it in the dark for the most part. He has put it out in the sun. It doesn't seem to affect it. The crash site here is what's really got my attention. It glows phosphorescently or luminescently rather around the site, which is interesting because we find all this luminescent and phosphorescent stuff out of Mexico. And, you know, it's not something that's common in our world, so it's very interesting to see it in this fashion with no blacklight stimulation whatsoever. I would be curious to see what a blacklight would do to this area, for sure. So as he continued, you know, every day posting the progress of what this thing's doing, he's posted, you know, dozens of videos. I think there's close to 20 videos of this. I'm posting some here to bring awareness to this, to try to get people to go to TikTok and follow this man, to keep up with this. You know, a lot of people reached out to him and asked for, you know, biological samples so they could put it into the lab and see what the heck we're dealing with. You know, the curiosity is very high on this. However, I feel that the danger is also very high if that's the case. He thought it was a plant to begin with. And here we are, you know, as it continues to grow and he continues to post it, they're starting to call it venom. It looks like a black something, you know, black goo of some form, but it's got definite life form. It moves and you know, it was just staying on the meteor and you know, flexing its little tentacles and things of that nature for many days. He started to take samples for scientists. He had the bravery to go in and start cutting these things and creating these samples in these jars, which seem to still have life form. They could be like clones. They may regrow or regenerate. The fact that it's not eating and provides such a life form is very interesting. You know, when the meteor came out, before anything was growing off of it, he had a plant on his desk and it literally killed the leaf that it touched, and or that it was close to. And so he did multiple other tests and showed us that this thing just literally will eat the biological material and burn it up. So as you can see, this thing continues to grow, and this is after he's taken samples off of it. Quite bizarre. I really am speechless. However, doing the work that I do, I know there's a lot of disclosure issues. You can see it with our congressional hearings. You can see it with the Nazca mummies finally making it to certain mainstream profiles like Jesse Michaels and Joe Rogan. People are starting to take the Nazca mummies more seriously. I don't know how to even take this. The fact he's touching this with his hand here, it creeps me out, to be honest. I mean, this needs to be in a very secure area. This could be an invasive species. You know, scientists have predicted that certain octopus and life forms on Earth, they just showed up here one day. They feel that they may have came by meteor or asteroid, which in this case, I mean, it's it is what it is. You can see the thing has separated itself from the meteor. It is now a functional life form. Still seems to be gripping onto it, but has detached itself also. So I don't know if the ambient radiation, gamma rays, electromagnetic frequencies, whatever this thing's producing that killed the plants, could be feeding the life form here. I'll be anxious to see what the scientists come up with that he's shipping it to. I pray for all of their safety. I pray for our safety on this, as it could be an invasive species that we are unaware of, and he may have just cloned it dozens of times and sent it all over the world, making it, you know, potentially something that could cause us a threat. Seeing how fast it grows, the fact it got off of the tray in the safe, closed in there, moved the glass lid off of there, and moving the meteor around. It's obviously got some strength already, which is insane to me. So I highly recommend that you go follow this account, Kin Panama, and tell him thank you for at least giving us the opportunity to try to understand this. I feel it's a huge warning to us all, considering we've been seeing the things that we've been seeing with drones and UAPs, or whatever you want to call these flying orbs and different things over the White House, over assassination attempts, all over the place. China, Russia, Bolivia, Colombia. I see it everywhere. Mexico for sure. And obviously we see depictions of a lot of this stuff on the pieces from Mexico. Not this specifically, though. This one here definitely takes the cake, and I'll keep up on it as well, because there's not really any Instagram coverage of it. And we'll go from there. Say a prayer for this man and for us as a society, because this thing looks like the real deal. Until next time.
Sent into the Ghost subreddit by Vadius Cord. She says, "Good morning, guys. Earlier today, my father sent me a video he captured. He told me that every time it's foggy out, he has seen a strange shadowy figure on the right side of the road near the road sign. He says that he often swerves to avoid it as he thinks it's a person. However, it disappears as he approaches. I apologize for the poor quality, but if you look closely at the video, you can see an odd shadow on the right side of the road near the edge line, right past the sign. And look, it very well could be some strange interaction of shadows and lights, but it just looks very odd. It definitely looks to my eye, and obviously my dad's eye, like some kind of figure. I mean, he literally swerves into the other lane to avoid it because he thinks it's a person, and then nothing. Anyhow, curious on what you guys think. That makes two of us. I definitely see the figure. But yeah, I don't know if that is some type of like shadow cast from that sign. It'd be interesting to know if there were any really bad accidents in this stretch of road. That could shed a little more light. But again, let me know what you guys think. So this clip was posted on Reddit, and the person that posted it, English is not their first language. They basically have said, you know, this is a photo of our security camera, we don't know what it is, and then we checked outside, but nothing was there. So I'm not actually sure what they're even asking, but when you go into the comments, people are talking about this figure right here. To me, it looks like he's holding a dolly, like something you would bring sodas in on or move furniture with. And then I see maybe something with eyes down on the ground. Someone else in the comments mentioned something back here in the shadows too. I'm not good at picking stuff out like that, I gotta be honest. But this guy over here to the left, I mean, maybe it's not a guy, but it looks like he's got on full garb. Maybe that's even a belt, or that's part of the dolly, but it also looks like it has one of those like stocking masks on. I don't know, I guess she's assuming that this is a ghost. She said her camera was going haywire. What in the crackhead is going on here? A guy had his property stolen, a motorcycle, some other stuff, obviously his phone. And when he got into the cloud to see what was going on, he found these pictures were uploaded. I mean, this girl, she's got a needle behind her ear. Lord have mercy, you got to be the dumbest. You know what? I'm gonna pray for them. Because I mean, daggone, you commit the crime. It looks like you might even were gonna get away with it. Then you start taking pictures of each other. Both faces in there. Lord have mercy. This clip posted from Western Michigan shows a creature that a lady says scared away her dogs. She says something is perched atop this fence line. Any ideas?
What the fuck? What are you? Oh my god, what are you? Oh my god. What the hell? Oh my god. No. It looks like a cougar or something. Like a deer or something. I don't know. I don't know. Oh my god.
Okay, so this clip was posted on the subreddit Humanoid Encounters. And I actually think this is a pretty good use of AI. Anyhow, let me read what he wrote. Back in 2019, when I was living in East Texas, I had one of the strangest experiences of my life. Something that's stuck with me ever since. I was 20 at the time, lying in bed next to my girlfriend. Sometime in the middle of the night, I suddenly woke up and looked toward the doorway. That's when I saw it. Standing there was a figure, something that looked eerily similar to the image I've shared, but not exactly the same. At first I thought I was just dreaming, but then it moved. I sat up, fully aware and able to move, and that's when the thing suddenly lunged at me, started punching me. It didn't run like a person, it hopped, almost insect-like. It crossed the room in 3 long springing motions, kind of like a giant cricket or praying mantis. As it reached me, I swung and punched it right in the face. I remember what it felt like. Its skin was soft and rubbery, almost like the texture of a mushroom. The instant my fist made contact, there was a blinding white flash. Then everything went black. The next thing I knew, I was flat on my back in bed, perfectly straight, not even in my usual sleeping position. Here's what I remember about the thing I saw. It had reverse jointed legs, human-like thighs but insect-style lower limbs. I couldn't see the feet clearly in the dark. Its arms were long like a praying mantis, ending in 4 long finger-like appendages. It looked skeletal, like you could see its structure under the skin. Its skin was a greenish-gray, semi-translucent, like you could almost see through it. Its head was elongated, similar to a xenomorph or the creature from Pumpkinhead. The eyes wrapped around the side of its head, glossy and black like obsidian. No eyelids, just that reflective alien surface. Overall, its head had a wasp-like shape. Angular, menacing, and just messed up looking. So yeah, that's what happened. I've had sleep paralysis before, but nothing like this. I don't know if it was a dream, a hallucination, or something else entirely, but it felt real. Can anyone help me? What do you guys think it was? Sorry, that was a little long-winded and not as much video for the story, but my point at the beginning of the video is that AI would be cool to describe some of these things people are seeing in sleep paralysis or even in maybe court cases where you want to identify a suspect. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Now this is a pretty good clip. What is happening here? What is this thing? Golly, hold the camera still. You can make out like a bald body almost, and on arms it's crouched, its face hidden. I'm intrigued by this. But I'll tell you what, you've done us a complete disservice if this is the entire video. I mean, toss a little stick over there. Let's see this thing move. A few of the commenters uttered the same sentiment, like there's no way if this was real you'd film it for only 14 seconds. Other people are saying it's a baboon, some type of monkey. Someone even said a mangy bear? I don't think so. The guy that posted it found it on YouTube, tried to figure out where it came from, but the original video has no description.
When she spots something odd in the distance.
¿Qué es eso? No sé si es una persona o qué.
It's a large, bipedal creature
Ay, boludo, qué raro.
that starts sprinting at what seems to be an incredible speed.
Va como muy rápido.
And it's unlike anything the woman has ever seen.
The part that gets me here is when the guy's like, and it starts sprinting at an incredible speed. Not really. And it's the likes of something this woman has never seen. Again, maybe. I don't know. Best part of it was the background music, honestly. But who knows? She filmed it. She thought it was going fast. She thinks it's a creature, so I'd be interested to know more if anyone has any information.
This is exactly why I keep warning people about Appalachia. You don't have to see them because they see you.
I've not seen this entire clip. I've seen the part where he mentions that this thing followed him from the Gifting Rock.
They followed me home from the Gifting Rock. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning right now. I think I'm gonna
I don't know what to do. But it followed me home, and it is absolutely staring at me right now. Oh, damn!
But now this creature appears to be on the roof? Okay, that could freak me out pretty good. And the guy at the beginning, the warning about Appalachia, I mean, that's a real thing. Let me know if you guys have ever made any trips there. It's a pretty creepy place. At 2 a.m., she heard footsteps circling her hammock. They stopped, then started again. Luis, one half of the YouTube duo Camper Vibe, decided to take a solo trip to Daring Woods, a forest on the edge of Pluckley, known as the most haunted village in the UK. She set up her hammock, cooked dinner, and she said the only thing she really heard were owls. As the night deepened, strange sounds echoed through the woods. She tried to shrug it off, distant screams that almost sounded like children.
Sounds like kids screaming. That's just a train. Is it a bird or is it kids screaming? That's a bird. That's a gunshot. I don't know if you're able to hear a lot of this, it's pretty distant, but it sounds like kids screaming.
Then she thought to herself, no, there's no freaking children out here right now.
Honestly, I've never known a woods with so many strange noises. It's not just your normal birds and stuff and planes. There's a lot of planes. There's like this weird... Oh, I don't really know how to describe it, but I'm tired, so I'm going to let this burn out in a bit, sit here and enjoy a fire for a little while and then, yeah, head to bed. The hammock's really comfy, thank God, so I should sleep well, I would think.
And then came the footsteps. Slow, heavy. They circled her camp, paused, and came again. She lay perfectly still, gripping her sleeping bag, too afraid to even switch on her light. It went on for hours.
What the fuck was that? I don't want to turn the light on because I'm pretty convinced there's been a person or persons. What the fuck? I've never wanted the morning to come as much as I do right now.
When the sky finally brightened, she peeked out. Nothing, no tracks, no movement, just silence. And get this, that's when she noticed her axe was still lying outside the hammock. Like, if someone had been there, she'd practically armed them.
But I've just realised I left my axe out. Now, if there had been an axe murderer wandering around, I've literally handed him his weapon of choice.
Luis doesn't claim it was paranormal. She believes it was probably a person, which, in her words, might actually be worse. Yes, I completely agree. Tell me, alone in the woods, would you rather believe it was a ghost or a person watching you from the dark? I really think that I'm hoping it's a ghost. Police chased a suspect down a quiet Texas highway, lights flashing, tires screeching, until the vehicle finally stopped. But when they approached, no one was inside. Dashcam footage shows the pursuit in real time. The suspect's van swerves, crosses the divider, then comes to a dead stop. Officers exit their cruisers with weapons drawn, shouting commands. But there's no response. They move closer, the doors are locked, the engine's off. No one's in the driver's seat.
Where's it gone?
No one hiding in the back.
In the back.
He stopped to think he's hiding in the back. No one in the driver or
The van is completely empty, as if whoever was driving just vanished into thin air. They thought they were losing their minds. Even stranger, the engine hadn't cooled, meaning it had been running seconds earlier. This all really happened. The department never found the driver. No footprints, no fingerprints, no trail, nothing. Listen to this. One of the responding officers was even caught on the mic saying, "Where'd he go? It's magic." To this day, they never have an answer, and actually this footage is used in training to remind rookies that not everything they're going to see has a simple explanation. I don't know about you, but if that was me, I'd be questioning everything. Okay, explain for the people how you think that car was driving by itself.
So I think that the guy put a rock on the driving pedal and he was still inside. So he probably jumped out and turned off the car and locked the doors. And all the passengers went out the back.
Okay. Do you think, and the rock just stayed on there and kept the pedal pressed down?
Yes.
I could see that happening. You know?
If you do that on your car, then that video would be real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But where do you think they could have gone, though? Because the police were right behind them.
They probably went to the forests.
Yeah.
And then when the police were gone, they probably went back in their car.
That would be devious.
But why would they do that?
I don't know. But thank you. That was a great explanation. I can't wait to get your opinion on some other videos.
Thanks, Daddy.
You're welcome. Thank you. 2 officers responded to a break-in, but once inside the home, they realized something else is already there, and it's not human.
And how many rooms do you have?
2 upstairs and 1 downstairs.
All right, we're gonna have to go and search the house. Is it okay if we go in?
Yeah, of course.
You don't have any like pets or dogs or anything?
No.
Just stay here, man. Police! If anyone's here, make yourself known.
A young woman had called police after returning home to find her front door wide open. The officers entered with flashlights, clearing each room, calling out, "Police, make yourself known!"
Police? Anyone inside? Check downstairs, you get upstairs. Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known. Downstairs clear. Upstairs clear?
Yeah, we're good.
Every closet was empty, every bedroom bare. Then the freaking doors began opening on their own. The sound of footsteps behind them.
Downstairs clear.
Both officers turn, no one there. You can hear their breathing quickening. The footage trembles. Whatever's in that house moves when they move, stops when they stop, but you can never see anything on camera.
Upstairs clear?
Yeah, we're good.
Skeptics say it was air pressure, draft movement, or a wiring glitch causing doors to shift. Yeah, right. And I'll tell you why. The officers' voices tell another story. Genuine fear. Seasoned cops, shaken. And on top of that, the woman who lived there, the one that found her door wide open, she left that day and never went back. She had all of her stuff out within a week.
Ya, güey. ¿Te quedas aquí? ¡Valoran, ya no! ¡Échale, güey! Voy por él. ¡Ay, no mames, güey! ¡Ya vino!
So apparently this clip is a pretty well-known clip known as the Mexican Gnome video. I mean, I can't tell where this is filmed. Is this the inside of a house? An alley?
Voy por él. ¡Ay, no mames, güey! ¡Ya vino!
Oh, let's play it again. I saw that little guy on the wall move back there. But again, why are you cutting the camera off? A guy in the comments said, wow, did you film this with a potato? Man, what the heck? A Reddit user posted a comment saying, nope, it's real. Then I found this video titled Duende in the Street. It's not the same video, so maybe this guy is saying that these things actually exist. Anyhow, check out this video. This one looks like it was filmed in the Potato 2000. Just a step up from the first clip.
¿Escuchas el video o no? ¿Escuchas el video o no? ¿Sí video no escucha? ¿Qué pinche? ¿Dónde pingo es? ¿Allá? ¿Allá? ¿Qué pico un gorro? Parece, mira, boludo. ¿Qué chota eso, boludo? Mira, qué puta. ¿Ya? ¿Qué pico un gorro? Parece, mira, boludo. Chota. Mira.
But here's something to think about. The video quality of these is so bad that would they actually be able to manipulate something into the video? Like, can technology even handle that at this time? Golly, I hate to say the early 2000s doesn't seem too long ago, but holy macaroni. A video said to have been resurfacing from Brazil shows this guy looking into the backyard of his home. I mean, just from the bars and everything, the place doesn't look safe. Flashlight going, Oh, what do we have here? What is this thing coming off the mountainside? That sounded... Oh. Alright, let's zoom it in. Let's see what this is. I mean, this is likely a guy in a suit, but I would need to know some more backstory because when that guy opened the door, the time it took the creature to come into frame, like, how did he even know it was there? I don't know, but this thing's face is jacked up. A Reddit user posting from southern Vermont is wondering what this animal is. It was spotted in the woods behind her home, and at first glance she thought it was a wolf, but the coloring is a little different. It's absolutely beautiful, I do know that. I think it is a wolf. You'd be blown away how many people are saying that this could be a fox. Like, does anyone see that? I do not. Another person in the comments brought up coy dogs or coy wolves, which I guess are dogs and wolves that have mixed with coyotes. Nevertheless, beautiful creature.